Good evening. Last class I told you about this proposal. That is, when we go for PMA, the contract agreement between two or more parties, okay, and enforceable by law is nothing but a contract. And then when we go for agreement is nothing but a mutual understanding between two or more parties to do or to do a thing or not to do a thing. And when we go for the features or essential elements of a contract, okay, we will come across different types of essential features. What are the essential features of this contract? First one is offer. Okay, in the last class I told you about this offer or proposal. Okay, a person he makes his proposal to another person, okay, thinking that he will give his assent, okay, voluntarily and willingly he'll give his assent to do or not to do that work, and we will call that thing as proposal or the offer. And the person who is giving this offer or proposal will call him as promiser, proposer, or offerer. And now we are going for the next stage, next step, that is acceptance. So whatever it may be the proposal that comes to him, he must understand that what is the proposal or what is the offer that was made by the other person. He has to understand, and if he is willing to go for that, if he is willing to go for that, he has to tell his consent openly and freely. That is, voluntarily he has to tell that. There is no compulsion that he has to give his acceptance. Okay, no one is going to keep him, okay, under restriction or compulsion that he has to give his willingness. Whatever it may be the willingness that he is having, whatever it may be the consent that he is giving, it should be free. There should not be any voluntary force. I mean, there should not be any compulsory force. Voluntarily, out of freeness, he has to give his acceptance. And before giving acceptance, he must think that when he gives his acceptance, okay, automatically it will be binded on him. Automatically, it will be binded on him. Whether he likes that or not, he has to do that compulsory. So that is nothing but acceptance. And we will read all these things in our future classes or in our further classes. So the next thing, essential element is acceptance. Now, after acceptance, okay, intention to create legal relationship. Intention to create legal relationship. There should be an intention to create a legal relationship. When there is no legal relationship, okay, between the two parties, we cannot say that it is nothing but a contract. Okay, the offerer he must go in a legal manner, and the acceptor also he must go in a legal manner. And sir, who is this acceptor, sir? Who accepts a proposal made by a promiser, made by a proposer, made by an offerer, will call him as acceptor or promisee. Okay, we'll call him as acceptor or promisee. And once if acceptance is made, he cannot retrieve back, he cannot come back, he cannot take back that. So before giving acceptance, he has to understand clearly, and he has to see whether he can do that or not. Everything he has to think, and then only he has to give his consent. Okay, this is about the acceptance. Now, coming next thing is create a legal mean creation of a legal relationship. Okay, intention to create a legal relationship is nothing but the next thing that we come across. Okay, so when we go for this, Unless otherwise there is no legal relationship between the promisor and promisee, or offerer and offeree, the offeree. Okay, you won't come across any contract, you won't see any contract. And in this context, we are going to start the cases. The first one is Balfour versus Balfour. This is the best case, and this is the important and prominent case that we come across, okay, in the beginning when we go for business law. Balfour versus Balfour. Anyone, any kit and kin, they know about this Balfour versus Balfour, who is going to study this business law. And what is this case tells us? Okay, a husband and wife, a husband and a wife are there, and the husband told his wife that he is going to give some amount for her maintenance. So the wife agreed, and they used to carry, and he used to give some money to the wife, and it is going on. But all of a sudden, the wife and husband, they were separated. The wife and husband, okay, they were separated. And after some time, the wife filed a suit against the husband that he is not giving any maintenance for her. She filed a suit in the court of law that the husband, he is not giving any maintenance to her. And the court of law, it observed that, and it had given the judgment that there is no necessity for the husband to pay any maintenance to the wife. Okay, see, you filed a suit against your husband, but here there is no necessity for him to pay any maintenance to you. Why? Because there is no relationship between you. Previously, there is a legal relationship between you. Okay, he is husband and your wife. But now that relationship between you, it was cut off. So there is no necessity for him to give any maintenance to you. Like that, the court had given the judgment. Okay, so intention to create legalship is also very, very important when we are going for this essential features or essential features of a contract. Now, after that, we are going for lawful consideration. Okay, there should be consideration. Sir, what is this consideration? Something in return is nothing but consideration. Something in return, whether you give small quantity or big quantity, whatever it may be, whether you give in the form of cash or in the form of kind or in both, whatever it may be, there should be something in return. So when you go for a contract, this consideration play an important and very, very crucial role, because when there is no consideration, when there is no return of something, okay, there won't be any contract. There won't be any contract, and you cannot take into account all the things, all the relationships as may that there should be contract. Okay, you should not consider that in all the contracts, in all the agreements, there should be consideration. Okay, in some cases, even though there is no consideration, okay, the contract will go. So we will call those things as exceptions. Exceptions. Because in business law, one thing you have to keep in mind, Amma. Okay, you'll come across exceptions. Compulsory exceptions will be there. Okay, you will come across in business law. Once again, I'm telling you. Okay, in the last class I told you, and again in this class I'm telling you that when you are studying business laws, one thing you have to keep in mind is you'll come across number of examples, number of cases, and number of exceptions, because this is nothing but a law. Okay, so in this law, compulsory you'll come across nearly 450 cases you will come across. Okay, number of examples, there is no limit for the examples. There's no limit for the examples. And in the same way, you won't come across any compulsions. For everything you will come across an exception. So consideration, lawful consideration is something in written, and it should be lawful in the court, in the eyes of law, court of law. That must be considered as consideration. That's why we have to take into account lawful consideration. When there is no consideration, when there is no consideration at all, it won't become a contract. And even for some people, okay, you will come across exceptions of this. Okay, even though there is no consideration, okay, the contract will go away. For example, for example, okay, suppose if your father says something to you, okay, there you won't come across any consideration, please. There is an exception, because he is your father and you are, I mean, you are his daughter or son, whomever it may be. When he says something, you are bounded to do that. There, I mean, what is the consideration that you are going to give me like that? You won't. You should not ask, and you won't. People, they won't allow you, because he is feeding you, he is looking after you, and you are his daughter or son. Okay, you are not an outsider. When it is an outsider, then we'll think about the consideration. But you are not an outsider, you are an insider. And he won't think that it is a contract basis. He is not feeding you on a contractual basis. Okay, as a duty, he is considering that I have to feed my children. Like that, he is considering that it as it is his duty. So there, you should not think about this consideration. Whatever your father says, you are bounded to do that. When you can able to do that, do that. Otherwise, just simply say, I cannot able to do this. Okay. So like this, you'll come across the lawful consideration. This is also one of the important topics that we come across. Next, capacity of parties. This thing is very, very important. One thing, capacity of parties. What do you mean by this capacity of parties, sir? Okay, when you are entering into a contract, when you are going into an agreement, you have to see the other party whether is the competent and whether it is having capacity to enter into a contract. And with incapable people, you should not go and enter into a contract. The major example is minor who won't complete 17, I mean 18 years of age, who is below 18 years of age, and we will call him as a minor, and he is not capable to enter into a contract. He is not capable, Amma. Next, drunkards, okay, lunatics. So these people, they are said to be incapable. They are said to be incapable to enter into a contract. So when you are entering into a contract with any person or persons, you must see whether they are having the capacity to enter into a contract or not. Before entering, you have to think, you have to see yourself. Okay, I want to go and enter into a contract. Okay, fine, good. But the other party also must be in a capable way. That's why there is a proverb in Telugu. There is a proverb in Telugu that నెయ్యానికైనా కయ్యానికైనా సమబుద్ధి కావాలి. నెయ్యానికైనా కయ్యానికైనా సమబుద్ధి ఉండాలి. Of course, I'm telling in Telugu also, please. Don't get worried. Okay, those people who can able to understand the Telugu language also, they can follow. నెయ్యానికైనా కయ్యానికైనా సమబుద్ధి ఉండాలంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే, స్నేహం చేయడానికైనా దెబ్బలాడుకోవడానికైనా సరే సమబుద్ధి ఉండాలి, సరి సమానంగా ఉండాలి వాళ్ళు. ఓకే, నువ్వు ఎక్కువగా ఉండి అవతల వ్యక్తి తక్కువగా ఉంటే వాడితో నువ్వు నెయ్యానికి వెళ్ళలేవు, కయ్యానికి వెళ్ళలేవు. సో దేర్ capacity of parties we have to take into account. And the court of law also, it will take into account the capacity of parties. Okay, there are two parties, agreed, whether they are capable or not. Just by seeing that, the court will tell this contract is not good. So capacity of parties you have to take into account. And after that, free and genuine consent. Okay, free and genuine consent. When you are giving your consent to the offerer or promiser, okay, it should be free and genuine. Okay, it should not be vague. Okay, it should not be vague. There, there won't be any person on sitting on your head and make you to go for that. Out of your heart and freely, it should come. Yes, I can enter into a contract. Like that, voluntary force must come to enter into a contract. And genuine consent. Genuine consent means you should not be a prickle minded person. Okay, you should not be a prickle minded person. తలతిక్కలోడు కాకూడదు అమ్మా. తలతిక్కలోడు కాకూడదు. తలతిక్కలోడు కంటే దానితో ఒకప్పుడు ఒకలా ఉంటాడు, ఒకప్పుడు ఒకలా ఉంటాడు. ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళతో నువ్వు కాంట్రాక్ట్లోకి వెళ్ళేవంటే అనవసరంగా నీకు చెడ్డ పేరు వస్తుంది. మనం కాంట్రాక్ట్లోకి ఎంటర్ అయితే మనకి చెడ్డ పేరు వస్తుంది. సో you have to see whether the consent given by the acceptor is free and genuine. When it is not free and when it is completely prickle minded, vague, we'll call that thing as vague. Okay, then there won't be any contract, because that thing is essential when you want to get into a contract. And when you want to see a contract, that thing is essential. That's why the name essential features of a contract, essential elements of a contract, like that the name came across. Okay, there should be free and genuine consent, okay, between the parties. Next thing is lawful object. Okay, fine, you are entering into a contract, agreed, but for what purpose? Okay, for what purpose you are entering into a contract? What is the object? There should be some object, isn't it? So what is the object that is there for you to go and enter into a contract? And whether that object is lawful or not, okay, that thing also the court of law it will observe. Okay, there should be lawful consideration and lawful object. Okay, just we are entering blindly, we are entering into contract to do some robbery or to kill some persons or to murder some persons, means it is not a contract at all. It is not at all a contract. It is nothing but a criminal this thing. So there should be a lawful object, that is the court of law. Okay, they must have the lawful, I mean, they will take into account the lawful object, for what purpose you are entering. And that purpose, it should be genuine, it should be lawful. So lawful object. And agreement not declared to be void. Okay, agreement not declared to be void. Okay, two parties will come into agreement. In the initial stage, they'll say yes, 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 I can do this, I can do this. Okay, like that, you'll get this. Okay, into, and you will enter into a agreement. And after some time, after passage of time, you should not say the agreement is void, that is invaluable. Okay, unless, I mean, when everything was there, all of a sudden you should not say that the agreement is not good. That is nothing but agreements not declared to be void. That is the main thing that you have to understand and you have to learn. You should not say, okay, not only the persons, whomever it may be, they will take into account when you are entering into a contract, means everything will come into picture. Everything. Okay, that's why they are said to be essential elements of a contract. Okay, agreements not declared to be void. Next, certainty. This is also the important thing. There should be certainty, and you should not think about uncertainty. When you enter into an agreement, and when the other party, when he is ready to do that, you should not think that, array, something should happen, some uncertain event must happen, some uncertain circumstances must come. Like that, you should not think. There should be certainty whether you can or you cannot. Okay, it should be done. Okay, giving promise. Okay, giving acceptance here to the promise and say that I cannot do after some time. I cannot say like that. It is not. When you just say that, you have to stick on to that. That is nothing but certainty. That certainty is also very, very important. And possibility of performance. This is also one of the important possibility. Whatever you want to perform and whatever he want to perform, the other party. Okay, there should be possibility. When it is impossible, then you won't come across a contract and you won't see a contract. The word impossibility should not come. Okay, whether it is possible for you or not, the possibility of performance also it must be taken into account. When it is impossible, when it is impossible for you, you should not take that as a contract, and it is not, it won't become a contract at all. So possibility of performance also will play an important role. Next, after that, legal formalities. See, when you go for an agreement, when you go for an agreement, there should be some legal formalities. Okay, you may ask me, sir, when we go for agreements with, the family members, it is not a, it is an agreement, no doubt, but it is known as social agreement. Okay, social agreement is different and contractual agreement is different. Okay, here when you go for agreements, agreements are of two types, lawful agreements or contractual agreements and social agreements. Social agreements are nothing but, okay, just entering without any legal formalities. Suppose if you are invited by your friend for your dinner along with him or along with her, it is nothing but a social agreement. It is nothing but a social agreement. There is no necessity for you to go for the legal formalities. But when we are going for lawful agreements or when we are going for contractual agreements, then it is compulsory that you have to follow this legal formalities. As I told you already, that you can make agreements orally or in written. Okay, when you go for orally and when you are a genuine, when the two persons are genuine, then automatically the contract, will become, the agreement will be enforced by law and it will become. But when there is any doubt, okay, when there is any doubt, then you have to, it is better for you to go for a written agreement. And when you are going for a written agreement, you will come across some legal formalities, and these legal formalities are compulsory for any agreement. It should be in written and it should be properly affixed with a court fee stamp, and both the persons they have to sign on that. All these legal formalities must be there when you are going to enter into a contract. Like this, you will come across the essential elements of a contract. So next class we will continue.